welcome into the Sporty Show, ladies and gentlemen. And there is only one place to start here. Feliz cumpleaños, La Pulga. Yes, it's Lionel Messi's birthday today. Klinton Cod, what do you have to say to the man, the myth, the legend?
Don't
you sent him a message yet?
No, wait. Don't just call him a man. Say what
I said the man, the myth, the legend.
The what?
The man, the myth, the legend.
The legend. But there's one word you should
The
add there.
God.
The God. The God.
There he is, Lionel
The
Messi.
God. The birthday of the God. Happy birthday, Mercy. Happy birthday, Mercy. Happy birthday, dear Mercy. The God, the goat, the everything, the reason why we breathe. That is definitely not the reason, but it's part of the reason why some of us still breathe. Happy birthday, Lionel Messi. On behalf of myself and the lovers of... You love Messi, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just confirm now. Because,
of course, I love Messi.
We love Messi, right? So Messi will send all our love to you. More life, more enjoyment, more skills, more everything in the name of Jesus. Damn, I actually prayed in the name of Jesus.
Gosh, it's getting serious. Alex Ashmore, what do you have to say to Messi?
Feliz cumpleaños.
Hey!
That's it. Happy birthday. Keep doing what you're doing and stick around for a few more years, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
There was a moment this morning when I was on Twitter just going through like all, the compilations and they're with like the sad music behind it. I was getting actually so emotional because I was like 37 and I was like, oh.
Not long left in his football career.
I can't think about it and we won't talk about it today.
Honestly,
I'm celebrating.
I feel today worldwide should be like a world public holiday. Do you guys know? Now, this is Lionel Messi, you know.
This is Lionel Messi.
We need a Lionel Messi day where literally everywhere they should shut down.
I mean, every day should be a public holiday, to be honest.
No, well, yeah. It shouldn't be every day. It should more be like half a year. More like, I mean.
Twice a year.
Yeah.
Really quickly, Lionel Messi, 1,065 matches, 837 goals, 374 assists, 65 free kicks, 44 trophies, we know, including a World Cup, 57 hat-tricks, 8 Ballon d'Ors, and 6 Golden Boots. The most decorated player to ever play football.
I love the fact that you said including the World Cup.
You know, the most important one.
Has he done it in Bedfordshire, though?
In a cold
That's
night
the big question.
What do you mean? Fam, this man has a World Cup. Wait, no. There are people that want to clown. I want to clown them. Does your goat have a World Cup?
Stop it.
If your goat has a World Cup, raise your hands.
You are shading these players.
If your goat has ever lifted a World Cup, has it been given the gown in Saudi Arabia? If yours has been, raise your hand.
The shade this morning. All right, well, very happy birthday to Lionel Messi. You guys, remember to follow us on all of our socials, YouTube, every single match day. Come with us on our European journey. Insta, Twitter, TikTok, all of it. And also make sure to be watching Sporty live this evening as they have the Italy and Croatia match. Pre-match, post-match, they'll be there, so catch that live. We'll talk about that match later on today. But here's what's coming up on today's show.
Today's show kicks off by looking back at yesterday's games, as Group A was decided in dramatic fashion. We then look ahead at tonight's feature game on SportyTV, as Italy and Croatia battle it out in what could be a hugely important game for second place. And we also analyse the Spain-Albania game, as Luis de la Fuente's side look to cement themselves as favourites for the title.
Yes, we have a lot to get into, but first, let me welcome Gary to the show. Do we have Gary?
Morning, bonjour.
Wait. Was Gary here when I was saying raise your hands up if your goat has lifted the World Cup? Gary, were you listening to that conversation?
I was here. Yeah, I had that.
Can't you see his eyes are a bit red? I think he's been crying.
Oh, no, Gary.
Gary, when I was saying they should raise your hands, did you raise your hands up?
I did.
Wait. Has your goat lifted a World Cup before?
Well, you can have two goats in the same stable, my friend.
No. Listen. I've always corrected people on this show. There is a difference between a goat and the goat. Okay, so which one are you referring to?
All right,
Here we
right.
go. This is how
You
we're
can,
starting
you
it,
can,
Gary.
you can, you can always have two of the goats in the
No.
studio.
No,
Sorry,
it's not
Gary.
possible. No, sorry, man.
It's
sorry,
not possible.
Sorry.
Not today. No,
not
thank
today, I'm
you.
afraid. No.
We're getting a lot of love on YouTube, by the way. Happy birthday, my Uncle Messi. Gosh, I wish he was my uncle, too.
Listen.
Gary,
today-
how are we doing? You got some color coordination going on with your pink shirt and your purple headphones. I'm loving it.
We're matching, Gary.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, coincidentally, Messi's thing popped on my timeline this morning, and I was, have you noticed that he's speaking more freely? He's doing a lot more podcast interviews these days. He never used to speak to anybody at all. I think it's all part of his, unwinding phase where he is just calming down and just making himself a bit more accessible to the rest of the world, and that's really great to see. When he granted, I mean, the snippet I saw this morning was of him talking about Pep Guardiola and saying that, I don't know if you've seen the video where he's saying that too many
Yes.
people are forcing kids to play the Guardiola way, and that it's essentially robbing kids of the spontaneity and the fun of football. And I agree with him. People are taking football too seriously for kids. I mean, you see 6-year-olds and they are being told to play, hey, play this ball like this. No, when you are 6 and you are 5, you need to explore, you need to just have fun and just
Yeah.
do the game,
Now, I mean,
So happy birthday to Messi, and I want to see more from him, more freedom from him.
Lovely.
No, I mean, everybody who's watched Messi play, whether they are fans of Messi or Ronaldo, even Ronaldo wants to watch Messi play. Facts. He's just not saying it. I mean, I understand that it's a war between, who the greatest is, but I know deep down that if Cristiano has the opportunity, he would go sit and watch Lionel Messi play. That's how crazy. But then again, I think Gary mentioned something about, the Pep Guardiola football. If you guys remember, I think I've mentioned it here from this show before when I said they are taking away the football we grew up to watch, where people had the guts, the temerity to play a certain way on the pitch. They are just free. They did skills. There's so many things that made us. So football wasn't just about scoring goals. It was more like an entertaining sport where you would, switch on the TV and you would be excited to want to see people express themselves the way they are known. But these days, what we get is people directing players to say, no, don't play like that. This is how I want you to play. You can't pass this well. You can't. So they've ruined the whole excitement that comes with football. So if a skillful player from Brazil now wants to do a skill, he might be scared that if I don't get this skill right, people are going to come at me because this is not what was expected of me. But then if it goes through, everybody praises you, right? Now it's the other side of when it doesn't work. That's now.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Well, I guess so. I mean, when we see people like Yamin...
Say his name properly.
Wait. Yamin Lamau.
No.
No.
Yeah, Lamau, Yamin.
Lamine Yamal.
Lamal
Lamau,
Yamin
yeah,
is
sorry,
not.
Wait, say it again.
Lamine.
Yamal, that's the one.
Gary, for the life of him, he can't get his name right.
Listen, I've told you guys the most important thing is you know what I'm talking about. You know
The most
who I'm
important
trying.
thing is you respect the young man.
What do you mean you
Say his
respect?
name properly.
I said his name the
You
way.
said Lamal Yamin.
No,
Yamal
it's
Malim.
Yamin Lamau, right?
Yes.
It's Yamin Lamau. Yamin Lamau, right?
He could be watching this while
no,
he's doing
it's
his
not
homework.
Yamin. It's Lamine Yamal. You keep saying Yamin Lamal. Lamine Yamal.
I'm hearing the same thing from you.
You're going to make me start saying it wrong now.
No, but wait, Gary, but are we not saying the same thing here?
No.
I said Yamin Lamau.
Lamine Yamal.
Sorry, Lamin.
Lamine L-Y.
Okay,
You're doing Y-L.
I'm doing what? So I'm saying Yamin Lamau.
Yeah. And
So it's Lamin Yamal.
there we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, Lamin.
I don't know what's right, what's wrong now.
No, but the truth is, I don't even know if that's what I've been saying. Like,
You have not been saying it.
It's sounding the same. It's the same. Even the person I'm calling his name, I'm sure if you tell him to pronounce his name 10 times in a row, he's probably going to make the same mistake I'm making. Jesus Christ, man. Yes, sir, Gary, talk to me.
Clinton. The next time you get that name correct, I'm giving you 30 free tickets to Lionel Messi game. 30 tickets. Free tickets.
Okay, right. So we were talking about Yamin Lamar, right? Now, what I'm saying is, no, but I got it correct.
You
right?
did, you
I
did,
know.
you did.
I can't believe it.
You guys actually thought I had it wrong. But anyway, what I was going to say about Yamin Lamar, right, was the fact that the last few games we've seen from Spain, you could see him having. Now, the way you guys are looking at me, like there's something wrong. No,
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Alex, what's
Clinton,
going on?
Clinton, go ahead.
No.
I mean, the listeners love you they love you because you're human. You get it right sometimes, you get it wrong sometimes.
we get it wrong.
But they
And
love you because
okay.
you are
The name is on the
you are
screen
the
now.
man
So
of
wait.
the moment.
Okay, so it's
You are
Lamine.
the goat.
Lamine Yamal.
So okay. But this is what I've been saying all this while, though. What have I been saying?
You have been
You've
saying
been saying
Yamin
Yamin Lamar.
Lamal.
Oh, I've been saying Yamin.
Yamin
Yeah.
Lamar.
You're switching
No,
the
but
first
why-
letter
why-
of the
why would I
first
be
name and
switching his
first
name
letter
like
of the
that,
last.
though?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a you question to
No,
answer.
but it sounded right, though. Like, I think the most important thing is how it sounds. Did it
No,
sound
it
right?
doesn't sound right because we know that you're not saying his name right.
No, it's because you guys have thought too much about the name, though. Have you not thought about it? Like, if you just let the name flow, the name is the
Lamine
same.
Yamal.
Eh?
Lamine Yamal.
Yamin Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're saying Yamal.
It's Yamin La... Oh, sorry, Lamine Yamal.
Okay, you know what? Enough about Lamine Yamal. We will get to him later on in the show. Let's talk about Germany and Switzerland, a 1-1 draw, and it took Germany until the 92nd minute for Nicholas Füllkrug to find the back of the net there. Alex, this match should have gone Switzerland's way, but of course it's that extra time Germany goal, classic. We've seen it 100 times over, but the biggest sentiment, I think, to take away here is that Germany played their full squad, their starting squad, the squad that they won against Scotland with, the squad that they had to win against Hungary with, and they struggled here. We, for the first time, I think, have seen cracks, and they might be fine cracks, but we've seen them.
Yeah, I think I saw an article that said, canny Scotland, Switzerland, find the playbook. You know, they've worked out some of the playbook to beat Germany. You talk about, the team that they have and how well they've played in these opening two games. But this was probably their toughest test in terms of the quality of opposition. With all due respect to Scotland and Hungary, not the best teams in the competition, arguably two of the worst. And I think Switzerland have shown, although they drew with Scotland, that on their day they can play really well. So I think this was probably, I said it before, a litmus test for Germany. Can they perform against the stronger teams? Switzerland obviously aren't as good as a Spain or Italy, sorry. So I think, this kind of maybe revealed a few cracks. I still think they played well in parts, but it shows that they can be beaten, and in a way it's a good thing. I think, it's nice to have a few teams that could go on and win the whole thing. I'd rather have, Germany and Spain competing rather than Germany wiping the floor with everyone.
Absolutely. Gary, what was your biggest takeaway from watching the German squad last night and the way that they played?
Well, first of all, I think the last time I was on the show, I did mention that this Germany team are not going to try too many new things because they are working still on their identity. There was no way I expected them not to make too many changes to that third place team because, they've not gotten to a stage where there's a joke in football at a point where they say, if your team has not gotten to a stage where you told the starting 11 by heart or, off the top of your head, then you are not there yet. Germany are not there yet where German fans can close their eyes or a 6-year-old German fans can name the starting 11. So at that point, they would not have started any other players apart from the absolute top 11. And that's what they did. That was one of my takeaways. And I was happy to be, proven right about that. Then secondly, it's how do I put this? It vindicated that decision because you see, even with that starting 11, like you said, that a very good team who are able to exploit are starting to show, because it's better you see the cracks in this game against Switzerland where you've already qualified than the next round where you can be kicked out of the knockout. And so it's a win-win situation for Germany. I think that Nagelsmann will be very happy about the fact that Switzerland were good enough to expose the cracks, meaning that they can go back into the the analysis form. They can go onto the videos and see exactly what to do on the bench and try to plug it in the next game. I think Germany have players on the bench good enough to plug some leaks as well. So I think Switzerland will also be happy because on their part, obviously their team also growing. There's been some criticism in Switzerland that the team is not fresh enough, that some of the names are being chosen not 100% on merit, but because of what they've done in the past. And I'm talking about, for example, Sommer and Embolo. People, because they are players like those players. And if I asked you, Sarah, when did you hear of Embolo apart from the Swiss national team? You might struggle. You know what I'm saying? You only see him, international tournaments. Who is Switzerland going to play? Then you go like, oh yeah, Embolo, because he's one of those players as well. So there's a feeling if you read the Swiss press ahead of the tournament that some of these players are not being chosen because of what they have actually done, their form guide. But yesterday showed that sometimes a coach doesn't know what he's doing. And I think it was good for both teams as well.
Those big players, though, you talk about Shaqiri, quite often you sort of not forget about him in between when it's club football, but he always pops up. And I think for me, the two big takeaways from this game were one, that I think Switzerland played well. They pressed Germany quite well. I thought Xhaka being quite close to Toni Kroos. I thought Akanji pressured Kai Havertz really well. And I think that might be part of the playbook in terms of you put Germany under pressure and you keep that high press. It forces them to take long shots and make mistakes. But then also something that we can take away from this game is it shows, as Gary said, the depth that Germany have. They were struggling, they needed a goal. Bring on Niklas Füllkrug, and he did it for them. So I think it both positives and negatives for Germany.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Germany are, of course, qualified through. We know this. Klinton. One thing I noticed yesterday, as I was watching Germany lose most of the match and really hoping they were going to do it, is that we now have a bracket on one side that's going to be Spain, Germany, Portugal, potentially France or Netherlands, likely Belgium, all on England. One side. Well, I would take England at this point. They're an easier team to play as of right now. And then either Netherlands and France on the one side with England. This one side of the bracket is going to be insane. It's all the heavy hitters.
I mean,
nothing to say.
No. You see, I was literally just waiting to make my comment regarding the game from yesterday.
What are you waiting for?
Germany and Switzerland. And obviously, Gary, Alex, they've pretty much said most of it. But then again, I was just happy to see Germany struggle in the sense that they've had two easy games where everybody felt like they are probably the best or one of the best so far. We were thinking Germany and Spain were the best in the tournament so far, but then again, I watched the game and I'm like, wait, hang on. Is this the same Germany I've been watching or this one? Is it just because they've been facing less tougher opponents and they've just been looking good on the pitch because of the caliber of people they were playing? And yesterday, Switzerland did give them a proper game, and I would have been happy to see Switzerland go through with a win.
Same.
But then again, it was obviously... Yeah, they had tried so much, and towards the end of it, they had a defensive error, which was literally just leaving Füllkrug just by himself standing there. I think there were like two players standing at the 18-yard box, and it was almost like they were spirits, Because in my head, I'm like, wait, do you guys know? This is nearly the end of the game. Do you not see this guy just chilling there?
It's almost as if they've gone, you mark him. No, you mark him.
I mean, this is what I would expect some kind of conversation going to. Okay, watch this guy. I mean, this is what we do in football. This is if you've played pack football or wherever you've been. This is the kind of conversation going on. Did they just look at him and be like, right, you know what, we've played so much, I don't have the energy. Just stand there, fam. Like, was that what happened? And they ended up conceding such a very cheap. To me, the goal was too cheap. It shouldn't be. They've done everything on the pitch. They held Germany down. They played so well. Like, they were making connective passes. It was almost as if it wasn't the Germany we've been watching, because we gave Germany this whole accolade. Like, yo, the way you guys have come for this tournament, you've come with anger. Because they faced a crippled Scotland, and they've also faced a one leg standing, what's the name of the other
Hungary.
country? Hungary, like, that has only one star in the whole team. And we feel like Germany is like this almighty team. And they now face Switzerland, who have at least a couple of good people who have played in a matured league, in a mature league. They've played to high-level football, and now we see the real Germany. This is part of the reason why I can't wait for the round of 16, where it's like more serious people coming to play. But I really wish Switzerland did steal the win.
I think that was one weakness I saw for Germany was Jonathan Tah. I thought he had quite a poor game, and he's obviously used to playing in a back three with Leverkusen. They have a really good team. I'm not saying this Germany defence is weak. It's brilliant. But, maybe just that change of system. He looked a bit off it last night. He played well in the opening games, but I think that's probably the big weakness for Germany is that back four and whether Jonathan Tah can get used to that back four system.
For sure, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, Sarah, can I make a point
Absolutely.
as well? Just a quick one on Germany before we box on. And I was saying about Fulkrug. He's had 3 shots on target he's had 3 shots and then 2 goals so far in the tournament. And you remember when we were doing the build-up to this competition, I was saying that Germany have that quality about them that they've shown us over the years. And I think it was Alex who mentioned Jonathan Tah when we were talking about that sort of player profile Germany like to bring out. It's like every tournament they are in, they show us 2 or 3 players who nobody knows outside of Germany, but they are very, very, very good. When it comes to strikers, people of this generation or just slightly older might remember players like Mario Gomez as well. They are not what you call the super fashion players, but they are absolute gunmen. I mean, you
They
put
are
them
the
in front
super
of the box
subs.
and they'll they'll put you there. Miroslav Klose as well. Quietly, he became top scorer in the history of the World Cup as well. Fulkrug seems like he has an absolute efficient, deadly tunnel vision eye for goal. And I love that. I mean, this is happening for him. He's played a grand total of only 75 minutes in this tournament. And already he's got these 2 goals and 3 shots. And I'm thinking we should really look out for him. And he will be key if they should go far in this tournament. We shouldn't be sleeping on him. He served us notice so far.
For some reason, I look at Fulkrug. Do you know the one striker he reminds me of, who's currently still playing? The kind of person Fulkrug is, where he's like, like I said, he's spiritual. He just turns up where you don't expect him, and boom, he's launching in a goal. Who do you think?
You've cast quite a wide net there.
No. I mean, there's not a lot of strikers I would always speak about.
Olivier Giroud.
Thank you. It's Olivier Giroud. Facts.
no.
That's literally who. This is how I see Giroud when he's performing. I mean, I understand with the age, he's not really giving us the kind of person we've seen him or we've grown to see him be on the pitch. But Fulkrug is somebody to really look out for. It's somebody who I believe is going to put his stamp on that striker position, like globally, if care is not taken. He's obviously shown it with Bayern Munich like a few times. He's come to the German team as well. He's doing it again. Like, for me, there's nothing as good as seeing a player doing it in cup level and then come. It's not so many players that can perform on both angle when it comes to football. Some of them are just better off playing with their guys in their different clubs because this is the people they play with every day. They understand themselves. They've literally spent a whole year together. And then you come to the country, you see people struggling because these are people you're not used to playing with, like year in, year out. But then again, so if you have the ones who are able to perform both in the club and the country, these are the ones you want to look out for the future.
He single-handedly, you could say, got Borussia Dortmund through to that final, beating PSG.
Yeah, 100% fact.
All right, let's move
Filippo
along
Inzaghi,
to...
I was thinking, when you mentioned the player that came to mind, Klinton, was Filippo Inzaghi, the guy who they say was born offside, apparently.
No, but I think Morata or Lukaku is going to take that.
Let's see. In action later today. All right, let's move along to the second match that took place last night, and our condolences are being sent to friend to the show, Stephen Purdon, because Scotland did lose, in fact, to Hungary 1-0. But before we get into this match, I think we have to say our thoughts are with Barnabas Varga, the Hungarian footballer who was injured in this match, and it was quite a scary moment, and these are the moments in football that we do hate to see. But the good news is that he is conscious in the hospital with a concussion, but he has to undergo surgery for several breaks in his cheekbones, so that's going to be a little bit difficult, but we wish him a speedy recovery and really happy to see that he's doing all right. That was a very scary moment. But yes, Scotland, absolutely horrific. I'm sorry, I told you both this on the show yesterday. The way they're playing, they're not going through, and they will not be advancing to the round of 16. Hungary could be with 3 points, but I'm not even sure if that's going to be good enough for them. Just a fun fact here on Scotland. Scotland failed to register a single shot on target until the 98th minute, while 3 of their 4 shots in total came after the 90th minute. Alex, they don't deserve to go through, and they're not going through.
I mean, to add another damning stat to your one there, Scotland are there's only been 2 instances at this summer's Euros of a team failing to have a shot on target in the first half. Once was last night, Scotland against Hungary. The other one was
Scotland against Germany?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from the Scots.
Yeah, it's been poor. You know, they registered just 17 shots across the 3 games. You know, when you're talking about wanting to get to that magical 4-point mark, Steve Clarke mentioned that before the German game. You know, we get to 4 points, we give ourselves a really good chance of getting through. They were nowhere near that. They were poor against Germany. They showed better signs against Switzerland. I think they played well, barring the defensive error that gave away the goal. And then Hungary, last night, they just didn't turn up against Hungary. I was expecting a lot more from them. I was expecting them to use the momentum from the Switzerland game to go on and hopefully get a result, but they just weren't up to it. I will say, however, though, they deserved the penalty. I think Steve Clarke was right. That was, for me, a stonewall penalty, and if they'd have got that, that could have changed the game completely.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a penalty, but Klinton, this really was a penalty, in my opinion. Klinton, you can get into that in a moment. But for me, even if they got the penalty, they didn't deserve to win this game. Now, I'm not saying it goes hand in hand. They still should have had a penalty, for sure. But the way they played, this was not good enough.
You get a penalty, though. It reminds me of the Champions League final, Liverpool-Spurs. Liverpool get that lucky early penalty, changes the game. If Scotland get that penalty, they go ahead. Football is a big thing in football, is the motivation and the momentum. If you're going ahead and you know that you've got to hold on to that lead, maybe even get a second, I think Scotland go on and win that game.
Klinton, let's talk about the penalty.
No, I mean, I saw what happened there, and the first shambolic thing I believe should not be happening is the fact that something of that nature would happen, and then a ref will just let the game go on.
Yeah.
I think the ref should be called into place, and I don't know, because that was him ruining a whole moment. Who knows what could have happened to Scotland if he had gone to check the VAR and see that, okay, this is definitely a penalty.
The fact that he didn't even go to
No,
check.
he didn't check. He just let the ball continue, and that's a broad daylight robbery. You know, the moment I saw that incident, even when I was watching the game, the commentator did scream. The first thing they said was, that is definitely a penalty, and they're going to bring it back. And in our eyes, we watched the game continue. There was nothing like there was literally nothing. And yeah, if I was the coach for Scotland, I would be fuming. Yeah, he's fuming and my fuming will be very different, 100%. First of all, I will start hitting microphone in front of me first, and then I'll start screaming and something just crazy to get people to understand that was a robbery to my country, because you shouldn't be doing that. Clearly, that was a goal-scoring opportunity. And somebody came from behind, get you to the ground, and the ref just says, yeah, continue playing. That's shambolic. That should not be happening in football. That's just... We've seen penalties awarded to even lesser things like that, and you come to this is a whole European tournament. It's not one of them things where you would say the opportunity is going to come next year again. Blah blah. People are working so hard to see if they could get to the next round, and then something like that will happen just at the 18-yard box, and then you just wave it on. That's absolutely unacceptable.
Gary, what's the issue here with this penalty not being called? Because it seems like we've seen it time and time again in the Premier League when VAR isn't being used correctly. And this is the issue. The technology's there, but it's not being used correctly. And now this is kind of filtering into the Euros, and I'm sure Copa America as well shortly. But what is your suggestion to fixing this? Because especially with an international tournament, obviously these things hit a lot deeper.
Look, first of all, Alex got it right when he came onto the show and said that I was looking a bit red-eyed because, I think he mentioned it. Yesterday, I'll come to your question, but I just want to give some context. I was at our FA Cup final here in Ghana. Yesterday was the final game of the season, and it was officiated. It was because of diversity and inclusion and all that. All the match officials were females, center ref, assistants, all the refs, match commissioner, everybody was a female. So it brought some extra eyeballs and stuff into the game. One of the decisions was when the keeper saved the ball outside the penalty area. You know what it is? I mean, that's all right. Keeper got away with it. And it's basically was a sliding doors moment, because if the ref had given that decision, and that's what Alex is saying, those decisions are sliding doors moments, because happens, it changes the momentum of the game, the psyche of everything, and that is exactly what happened. To answer your question directly, it's not been done before, because earlier this year we had a tournament with almost perfect VAR in the Africa Cup of Nations. Now, I spoke to a couple of the officials, them this question, because we also wanted to be educated. And remember, AFCON happened between January 2nd week and February 2nd week. If you recall, the Premier League in particular had some of its worst decisions in that period. So it was like every single day it was AFCON here, Premier League here, AFCON here, Premier League here. And so it was on topic at the time. So I was asking them, what are you doing right? And they were like, look, we are simply communicating. If I remember, Ian Wright also said that in the Premier League, it feels like the whole cult of the individual is trumping the team mindset when it comes to the refs. I need to say this again, that the refs are thinking about their individual reputation more than they are thinking of what good decision will be good for the game. So, for example, just an example, it's Anthony Taylor who gets a decision wrong. Whoever is in the VAR is probably afraid that Anthony Taylor has such a big reputation that, hang on, I don't want to step on Anthony Taylor's foot, so I'll just let it slide. That is a huge thing. And I can't help but think that may be playing out in the Euros as well. Remember, in the first 7 to 8 days or so, we had an almost flawless VAR system where everybody was saying that the VAR was one of the best players of the tournament so far in the Euros. And then suddenly this is happening. I'm thinking that, look, I think that sometimes the stakes are too high, or rather the referees and the officials think that the stakes are too high. And so calling a decision and saying that, look, ref, I think we should look at this thing again, play their mind, because they feel like the stakes are too high, and probably they should just be encouraged to think that, you know what, is that serious, but it's better if we got it wrong and got it right afterwards than getting it wrong until the next day,
Absolutely.
No, it's it also brings back the topic. Obviously, there was a time the Premier League clubs were trying to vote for or against VAR, and you see, for me, if I was asked, would you love VAR to stay? Fact is, I would love VAR to stay, because whether we like it or not, is being able to bring some level of sanity. There are some decisions that instead of you to just let it go, they go back to the VAR and see that actually, sorry, it's only fair to people who would come at the better side of VAR to enjoy what VAR brought into the system, right? So, say for example, if it's an offside and there's no VAR, they give it as a goal, right? You being from the receiving end, how would you feel, right? So it's good for it to be there, but I think what they really need to improve on is how the technology is actually being used. I think it's so used wrongly in Europe, and they need to go get some lessons from African refs. Trust me. In the AFCON, I don't know if you guys saw publications, but they felt like VAR, there's no part of the world where it has been used better than Africa. We don't understand how African refs do it, but you will hardly see complaints to say they've got that wrong, or there are some incidents where you just be like, okay, this is just normal human being intuition. And you will see these African refs taking decisions even without going to the VAR. And if you go to actually check, let's say the game has moved on, he's taking it, you will come back and see that, right, he's actually gotten that decision, right? You know, there's actually no problem. No one is arguing, nobody's fighting, everything is going so smoothly. You come to Europe, you come to England or, you know, wherever league it is, you see how it's being used and you're like, wait, this is where this technology has come from. How come they're using it so wrong from this part of the world? The part of the world where we tend to believe that things get to later on, they tend to be using it even better off than this one. So maybe they really need to start looking at how these people tend to manage that technology so it doesn't, you know, hurt. Because I could imagine being the manager of Scotland yesterday, I would feel extremely devastated by such, you know, there's a difference between you've said, all right, cool, let's go check, and then you go check and you'll be like, okay, it's not a penalty, right? I think people will be happier on that note than having to just wave it off, like acting as if it never happened. I think that's the one that really got me upset even more. It shouldn't be happening at all.
There's got to be more fluidity, and I know I get that the referees don't want to be seen to be making mistakes in front of...
Or stopping the match.
Yeah, but there's got to be that. You can't... You know, you've got to... It's Sepp Blatter said this, you know, people like to be in the pub talking about mistakes and referee mistakes. No, we want to be in the pub talking about a game that was refereed properly.
Absolutely.
And the officials were, you know, working in the right way. And in that way, you've got to take away some of the power from the referees at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, the VAR...
I mean, that's why the technology is there.
Should be able to intervene, should be able to go, you know, Anthony Taylor in this case, Anthony, you've made a mistake there, you need to go back and look at that, because he's got so much of a better view. He's got all the angles in front of me and in front of him.
But
Anthony
like
Taylor's
said, they
in the
don't
moment.
want to interrupt the ref, and they don't. Yeah, I think it's just being used very poorly. So, an unfortunate decision made by the ref here, or not made rather. And Scotland will be packing their bags and heading on home. Meanwhile, Hungary waiting in the sidelines eagerly, seeing if their 3 points are enough. But let's talk about some big matches today. Let's start off with Croatia and Italy, the match that we have live tonight. And joining us now is Camilla Fidiani, our Italian football expert. Camilla, thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Well, Camilla, you look like your team already won the match already from the camera. Like, she's looking so bright with I mean, you could tell that they're just ready to go hit the pub.
That's
ready.
confidence. That's confidence.
No. I love the confidence already. God damn, man. Camilla, how's Italy? What's the weather like there?
Yeah, I was actually funny because of your jokes in the background. That's why I'm so happy and smiley. I'm more nervous about the game tonight.
Have I been making any jokes so far, Camilla?
She's laughing at your pronunciation of Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not bring it back
She wasn't listening at this time, trust me.
No, she was.
I think she was still packaging the makeup to make her look nice. She wasn't. No, she didn't hear any of all that. Trust me. Nah, don't say that, fam.
Okay, Camila, big match for the Azzurri tonight, obviously, because Croatia are in desperate need of a win in hopes of making it to the next round. Italy, you know, obviously started off the tournament a little wobbly with that early goal from Albania, but they persevered and they showed that they can bounce back. And then against Spain, they were very much outplayed, but a 1-0 loss was the only, you know, issue there. They didn't necessarily play bad. I think Donnarumma really saved you guys in this match. But what are your thoughts right now heading into a very difficult match against Croatia, even though we haven't seen much from Croatia?
I think it will be a very crucial game for Italy to seal the position in the last 16. Mm-hmm. It was one of the most attended games of the group, I think, because Spain was by far the hot favorite of the group. Then we have Albania, but then we have this head-to-head kind of between Croatia and Italy. And even though I think Italy enters the game with a slight advantage because we have a +1 goal differential compared to Croatia that has -3, I would say that we don't have to underestimate this team, because historically Croatia has always been a very tough team for us. We only won our first ever encounter, friendly match, in 1942, but after that we never managed to take a win over Croatia. For this reason, even though I'm quite confident, I have to say that we have to play our best as we did with the other teams as well.
But this Croatia is not the same Croatia we've seen, you know,
And I
in the
mean,
last couple years.
I was just going to say to Camilla, yeah, if you feel like you guys have not had any win against Croatia, this might be the first time you will be stealing it. I mean, very easy. I've said, you know, I'm looking at the Croatian team. I'm now putting them on. You know, sometimes I would even feel like Scotland are probably better than them. Nah, I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but so I mean, Croatia, Scotland. I mean, how many points does Croatia have so far in the tournament? One. And
one.
how many does
Minus
Scotland
3
have?
goal
One.
difference.
One, and then now, since they are on like 1-1 each, right? Let's now get to the next stage. At what point did Scotland concede the goal that made them lose the game?
It was
right?
in the 110th.
Exactly. And when Croatia was losing, at what point were you losing the last game?
I mean, they lost 3-0 to Spain.
Well, exactly. So you see, at this point, who's now better? It's Scotland, right? So now, Camilla, we will come back to celebrate together because it's an easy win for Italy in advance. I don't think this Croatia...
An easy win.
I knew there was a reason why she came looking so pretty. She knows. No. She knows that this is going to be an easy win. They're probably going to be breaking a record for the first time in the whole existence of them playing Croatia. It's happening this time, and I can assure you, you know, the way you've looked on TV today is not going to be a waste. 100%.
Thank you, but I think it's just this romantic Italian in me. I just don't want to jinx it. That's why I'm trying to be as objective as possible.
Right.
Camila, you know, I feel like this is going to be the first game where we see the classic Italian football because Italy, if they get away with a draw here, they're happy. I mean, Croatia needs to win. I don't think Albania will be enough for Spain, even with a rotated side. Let's see. So if they think, okay, Spain's going to beat Albania, if we get a draw, then we have our second place. Do you think that we're going back to this classic, park the bus, very defensive football of Italy, let them have the ball, it doesn't matter? Or do you think they're going to play a little bit freer like we saw them against Albania, for example, in their first match?
So it's clear we just need a draw in this time around, but I still think Spalletti will be tempted to do and make some changes in the squad. Allegedly, there will be a 4-1-4-1 formation with quite a few changes. Di Marco, for example, will be the great absent of the squad. He had a scalp problem, and that's why he'll be substituted by Darmian. There will be changes in the midfield as well with Cambiasso and Cristante, and there will be also a Scamacca starting from the bench. Instead, we'll have a center forward from Retegui. For this reason, I think we will try from the beginning to have a quite attacking strategy. As I want to see the Italy I saw for the last 10 minutes against Spain. That's what I want from this squad this time. And I think what we were lacking was a strong attacking display, and that's what we need to show ever since the very first minute this time.
Yeah, for sure. Gary, do you think that the Scamacca change is the right change here for Italy? Because, you know, we keep talking about him and the season that he had with Atalanta, but he hasn't really had a breakthrough performance yet for the Azzurri.
He's one of several changes I'm expecting from both sides, and I agree wholly with Camilla about some of the changes. I've also heard those rumors, and I think they've got to be done because Italy do not have to underestimate Croatia. I mean, look, Croatia have gotten out of tougher situations, and you always have to harken back. That's what they used to motivate themselves. Their slogan, you know what their slogan is? Their slogan is best when it is hardest. That's their slogan. Best when it is hardest. And it fits this team. They've always done that. I mean, look, in the first two games, they didn't quite get it right. But on both occasions, remember, they looked better in the second half, if you recall. On both occasions, they looked better in the second half. And I'm thinking that Dalic, he has given a hint in his last presser that those second half performances, he's literally just going to do the sensible thing. Take what worked second half performances and bring it to the first half in this case and start like that, which will mean that we should expect several changes from the Croats. So that will possibly mean they'll leave out Marcelo Brozovic. They might move Luka Modric and Kovacic back, which will mean that they'll play Sukic, who's been good so far, in front of them. Look, Dalic has gone to find a way, and Italy should not underestimate them. I agree with the changes that Camilla has said, but I think that it's what will make this game one of the better games of the last few days as well. So hey, I can't wait.
Nah, I think at this point I'm tired of waiting. You know, most times you just sit and be like, yeah, this game is going to be crazy, and then it becomes either a walkover for a team that's come
Yeah,
ready,
like
and
Portugal,
then,
Turkey.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. Do you understand how much we're here saying, nah, Portugal, Turkey is going to be some crazy?
I did think the Spain and
crazy
Italy game that was exciting. We watched it together,
Yeah.
and it was, even though it was low scoring, it was very back
Yeah,
and
yeah,
forth, and
absolutely.
just seeing
Yeah.
chances created, you just
Yeah.
get the energy.
No, I think this Croatia versus Italy is going to be a walkover for Italy, if you ask me. Like, I'm tired of having
Camila
to
is
put,
happy to hear that.
No, like anything to make Camila happy, man. That's the whole.
Camila, who are you most worried about right now on that Croatia side? Is it Luka Modric?
I think it has to be Luka Modric. I think he is the man, the star of the squad. He's leading the squad, and he has very great motivation this time around. I think he really wants to get through, and they know that this is their only chance, their big chance. So I know for sure they will try to do everything to go through.
Yeah, as it stands
Sarah,
right
Sarah,
now.
if I would
Yes,
just put
Gary.
this in, his biggest problem, bar none, is that they are conceding goals too easily. That's it.
Oh, so easily.
If you look at everything, that's the pro. I mean, throughout the World Cup, that's the last World Cup, they conceded one goal in the group stage. Now they've conceded 5 in 2 matches. Perisic is not on the top form that he is. Clearly, age has become a problem because, unlike other squads that are mixing things up quite well with a good blend of youth and experience, Croatia have just decidedly erred on the side of experience, and it's showing. And I'm thinking that if Italy can sort out an early goal, 15, 20, 30 minutes, that is all they'll need to break at least the mental resolve of the Croats. So
For
it's
sure.
concession of goals that's a problem.
You know how we saw Lamine Yamal absolutely destroy Josko Vardiol? Now Vardiol has to try and stop Fede Chiesa.
I know, and which is probably going
It's
to be
impossible.
the easiest one. That Chiesa, sometimes you think he's using some black magic. There are just a few things he does. Even on, I mean, in the last game, he does something on the sideline, and I'm like, wait, that's no be juju be that. Like, that's literally the right point to use that statement, because I was like, how the hell do you pass somebody literally on the line and you do it and you successfully get behind the person? And I'm like, wait. So
Giving me bad flashbacks talking about Federico Chiesa.
Oh, no, the Englishman
I
of
was
Saud Chiesa.
going to ask, Camila, obviously we know Di Marco's a quality player, but obviously could be a doubt, whether he'll be in that squad. Do you think Darmian is good enough to slot in and deal with the Croatian attack?
What Croatia?
Yes, I think Darmian will be the man to substitute Di Marco this case, and it will be a great game. But we know we have a good defense in the back. What we need to have stronger is the attack. But I'm expecting a game starting strong from the beginning. And as Gary said, it will be very attacking for 20, 30 minutes. And then I'm also expecting a few changes. So I do not doubt that Marco can come in at some point throughout the game. There will be some changes depending on the result of the game. But I know that Spalletti will do everything, absolutely everything, to have at least one goal in the net.
Yeah.
I mean,
Camila, can I ask you a question? Camila, can I ask you, what's the feeling about Spalletti in Italy? Like, I mean, is there a national feeling? Like, does he have the people's support in Italy? Do people trust Spalletti as the coach of the Azzurri?
So the average sentiment towards the Azzurri the past few months have been a little problematic, as we all know, after not managing to be in the championship, in the world championship. And I think that this time with Spalletti, we all were hoping that his experience can get and lead this team, even though we know that this team we have this time is much different and farther from the quality that we have when we won the Euro in 2021. But at the same time, we believe that Spalletti is the man who can definitely lead this squad.
All right, Camila, I need to ask you the big question. What is your prediction for tonight's match?
I think just because of how brilliant Donnarumma has been so far, I think there will be a 1-0 win for Italy.
A classic
She
one. Yeah.
she really gives a lot of respect to Croatia, though. I think
Yeah, you have to.
the fact that you know they can't remember the last time they won against Croatia. I think that's the scare that they still have. But Camila, listen, I don't know if maybe you've never had the opportunity to believe anybody in your life. Maybe people have broken your heart, you know, in different occasions, right? But listen, I'll be the first person to tell you right here that whatever I say, this is real fact. It's not going to be a 1-0 win for Italy. It's definitely going to be more than that, okay? And we are going to all celebrate together for you, all right? So, yeah, please don't, I think you need to think more higher. It shouldn't be just a 1. It's going to be an easy win for Italy today. Okay?
All right. Well, I hope for your sake, Camila, Klinton is right. Good luck with the match tonight, and grazie mille for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Grazie. Thank you for having me.
All right, then.
Thank
you,
you.
Camila. Bye.
All right, let's talk about the final match of the day, Spain and Albania. We don't have much time to talk about this one, but I think we're going to see a very rotated Spain side with some of these older players. I think Benny Carvajal maybe on the bench. I think this is going to be a massive game, though, for... Say his name. Say his name. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. Okay?
It's Yamin Lamau.
Lamine.
Sorry? Did I get it correct?
Gary is chanting for you. You did. Lamine Yamal.
Yamin Lamau.
Lamine Yamal.
Oh, you got it wrong. You got it right.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
But just quickly, guys, Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, I think this is going to be a massive match for them because I think these are two players that they're going to keep on. They've been absolutely brilliant. They're young. They have the pace. You know, they have the knees still. So I think this is where we'll really see them shine. Gary, is there a chance that Albania can get something done here against Spain? Because, again, for them, this is a massive match because they got to go into this thinking, all right, Croatia's going to beat Italy, so we have to do everything we can.
Well, they are going to give it everything.
For sure.
Albania have been one of the teams that, you know, they've left everything on the pitch in both matches so far. It's been absolutely gutsy watching them play. It's like, you know, those teams that play because there's something more than football at stake. You watch Albania and you are wondering, yeah, there has to be something more. They're playing for somebody or something back home. They are like that. So, but I think the quality will out in the end. Spain will be too much for them, even with the rotated squad. The game management, what I like about the Spanish technical bench is their game management more than anything else. Not flashy, but they seem to hide the eye on the ball literally at all times. And I've loved their substitutions so far, bringing freshness in the team and being pinpoints with the way they sub things. So I think that Albania, better luck next time, but you didn't meet the team that you can beat at the moment. I mean, look at the form of Nico Williams right now.
Ooh la la.
You know, I don't think he'll be substituted. I don't think he'll be
Him and
on
Lamine,
the
I'm
bench.
telling you,
and
they'll
he'll
be
given
on
a
the
full
wings.
Anybody that was substituting would have gotten into the WhatsApp group of Southgate.
No,
and
no, no, no.
Finidi
Don't
George.
tell Luis.
I mean, how many
Not
coaches?
joining it.
How many coaches do we have on that WhatsApp group currently now?
We have one more. Who's coach?
You said Finidi George.
So currently we have Finidi George and Gary Southgate. There was another one we added.
From yesterday.
Was it from yesterday?
Or the day before?
It has to be from one of
the day before. So this would have been Belgium, Romania, Slovakia this day.
Wait,
God,
yeah,
the Euros, there's too many matches happening.
I mean, let's just hope that we don't have the
Turkey, because Arda Güler.
Oh, that's the one. Thank
Turkey,
you. That's the one. Yes, he was a Turkish coach. Yes. He's gotten into the WhatsApp group. You know, they discuss and be like, yeah, you know what? Let's just make some people. Let's piss some people off. Yeah. Today, I'm going to not play Güler. I know you had a very good game in Jordan. What do you think? And then you will see Finidi George.
Laughing reaction.
Finidi George just put some laugh emoji and be like, I think you should do worse than that, you know.
Yeah, Vincenzo Montella has joined the group for being Turkey's coach and not starting Arda Güler. But, sorry, yeah, this match, do you think Albania can get anything out of Spain here?
I know it's going to be a difficult game. I mean, Albania, they're not really a walk-through kind of team to play against. I mean, I understand Spain, they're probably one of the best in the tournament currently. But, you know, I've seen Spain. It's almost like what's happening with Germany. You play a very serious team, and then you start seeing the little cracks here and there. Now, the question is Albania up to the level of the kind of team that could review the cracks that's in Spain? Assuming they do have, you know, because we could clearly see that Spain, they have really two crazy wingers, people of Williams and
I can't.
Yeah, you had it. You had it.
I can't.
Lamine Yamal. But I will still give it to Spain. I think Spain should do.
All right, well, let's jump into our predictions for the big match of the day, Italy and Croatia, and let's see what we had to say about this one. I'm going controversial and going for a 2-2 draw. I'm just trying to have some fun here and expect. I just want a beautiful game. Please. No, please. Like, I can't with these 1-0s. All right, Klinton's going 3-1 to Italy. Alex 2-1 to Italy. Gary 2-1 to Italy. Alex Bagley 1-0 to Italy. And the fans are going for a draw. Let's see what Croatia can do. Remember, guys, this match is going to be live tonight. Sporty Live will have it all pre-match, post-match. And let's see if Luka Modric will be dancing his way into the round of 16, or will he be going home?
I think he'll be going home, but let's see.
But let's see. All right, guys, enjoy the matches. Gary, thank you so much for joining us as always, and we will be back again, same time, same place tomorrow.
Boom, boom, everywhere.